こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材はブライトンの三笘薫に関する動画です。ブライトンはプレミアリーグ第26節で菅原由成擁するサウサンプトンと対戦し、4対0で圧勝しました。三笘薫は公式戦3戦連続のゴールを決め、絶好調を続けています。今回はアダム・マクドナルドのチャンネルから試合後のレビュー動画にて、三笘のゴールを称賛しつつ、ミンテと三笘の両翼ウイングに満足していることを話しています。ジョアン・ペドロ、ルター、バレバ、ヒンシェルウッドなど、他のプレイヤーも素晴らしいパフォーマンスだったため、三笘の3戦連続で、驚くべきスピードでドリブルし決めたゴールの衝撃は、少しかすれてしまっている気もしますが、それでも決定力だけが問題だとも話されていた三笘が、今やゴールスコアラーになっていると評価しています。実際にブライトンファンがどのように話しているのか、チェックしてみましょ
う。Out, and then not long after that, Brighton got their second goal. It was a really, again, we talk about that pressing. Rutter and João Pedro pressing. I think it was actually Rutter and Minte just pressing. It was so good. We saw it. And then that was basically how Brighton made all of their chances, essentially all of their chances, was just by pressing. And Rutter kind of bullies Aribo off the ball, wins the ball back from him in Brighton's final attacking third, plays it into Minte, who's there on the right-hand side, in the box. What does he do? Minte squares it back to Rutter, and Rutter has a simple finish. You know, Rutter, for a player who Leeds fans said doesn't score many goals and is mainly a kind of a creator and a kind of runner and all of these things, you know, actually, he's been a goal scorer for us. He's come in clutch many times. You think about that FA Cup bullet header. You think about all of these games, you know, today he's scoring another brilliant goal. For me, I think it's so tough because Baleba obviously has been such a good player as well, but I think Rutter's got to be in with a shout for player of the season because the way that he made that goal was essentially single-handedly, okay, but Minte obviously squared it to him, and Minte was very, very good himself. But Rutter, we wouldn't have scored that goal without his dogged pressing that he showed. And the pair of them, it was very, very good, and I think, you know, it's nice to see a team. They were clearly hungry for goals. They clearly had smelt blood in this game, as all the fans could. And it kind of felt like we weren't going to get another one. You know, it could have been another Leicester or Wolves game kind of thing where the team get back into it. But they could smell the blood and they went for it. And that's what we saw with the pressing here. Rutter with another goal, and it was excellent. 65 minutes in, Estupiñán comes on for Lamptey. Gomez comes on for Ayari. Literally within 2 minutes of Gomez coming on, I think he got the ball. And it was absolutely brilliant. Minte had a chance and he should have scored within seconds of Gomez coming on. Gomez comes on, gets the ball in the middle of the pitch, drives forward. You know, there's loads of space in the Southampton midfield. By this point, it's only 2-0 down, but they're all over the place. He was able to, Gomez, just drive through their midfield, play a ball into Minte, who, I'm sorry, should have scored. He played the ball right down the middle. Minte on the kind of left-hand side, but centrally, did the keeper, he was in loads of space, did the keeper, sat the keeper down, went round the goalkeeper, and was trying too hard to play it on his left foot to score it. He should have just tapped it in with the right angle on his right foot, but he didn't. He relied too much on his strong left foot, and he fluffed the chance. It was literally an open goal. He'd done the hard bit. The ball had been played brilliantly from Gomez. He'd found the space. He'd beaten the goalkeeper. He'd sat him down, and he couldn't find the finish. And I think for Minte, it was probably just one of those games where, you know, it's just, sometimes you just get those games where you're actually kind of playing really well, but when it comes to scoring goals, you just screw it up. And I think, you know, we're not going to get into that too much because actually I think Minte, since he's come back from injury, has looked so good. You know, since bursting back onto the scene really in that Man United game in, mid-January, his wing play with Matoma has been so good, and it's been generally, for the most part, apart from kind of the Nottingham Forest game, etc., you know, it's been such a big part of how we've been able to look much more dynamic in attack in the second half of the season, and we found this new style of kind of really relying on our wingers. He should have scored in the first half. He should have scored that. That was literally a tap-in. But maybe it's an immaturity thing. I don't know. Maybe it is. And to be honest, you know, I've spoken before. I think I spoke about in the last couple of games where actually I think Minte, for a 19, 20-year-old, has shown a lot of maturity. He looks like a player who isn't just a toe tapper, isn't just a dancing winger. He can score goals as well. He's got that clinical edge when the ball lands on that right-hand side, and he's the classic Minte position. The angle's opened up, left foot, bang, he curls and scores. He knows how to do that. This was an example. It was clearly just a bit of an off day. It all went a bit skew-whiff, and he'll be very annoyed at himself because it was a goal he should have scored. To be honest, in this game, it ended up being 4-0. It could have been 5-6. It could have been 7. It could have avenged our kind of -7 goal difference that we had picked up from the Nottingham Forest game, but it wasn't to be. But it just goes to show the kind of level of chances Brighton were making. It was a bit too easy at times. But yeah, and then literally 2 minutes after that, chance from Mitoma gets his goal. There's a ball into Pedro from the midfield. Pedro receives it, back to goal, plays a lovely little deft touch into Mitoma, who's running off his shoulder, plays the deft touch behind him. Mitoma's then just running through the middle with bags of space, and he's literally just been set away. He's one-on-one with Ramsdale again. So much space. We've got it again. And he does the carbon copy finish of João Pedro and dinks it over Aaron Ramsdale. A brilliant finish. Mitoma got a player who, since that Saudi Arabia kind of mooted deal, I think he scored 5 goals in the 7 games or something like that. Since that kind of talk from Saudi Arabia, we've seen a prolific goal-scoring Karu Mitoma. He's looked excellent. He looks brilliant. He looks sharp. He looks like he wants to score goals. It's been a criticism of mine that he's so good at getting us up the field but doesn't score enough goals and get enough assists. He's become a goal-scoring winger, and I think that's what we're seeing this season, particularly in the last month or two with our wingers, that our wingers are scoring goals, our attackers are scoring goals easily. And it was great from Mitoma. A brilliant goal. Dinks it just like Pedro did. He had loads of space, Mitoma, but he made the most of it. And it's difficult that sometimes when you're running at the goalkeeper, you know you're one-on-one, you know there's no one around you, what are you going to do? And he made the right finish, and he's got that kind of calmness and that street smartness just to get the finish right.
次は解説です。今回は少し短めの動画でしたので、解説パートも短めですし、あまり使わないような表現もありましたが、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょう。
Without his dogged pressing that he showed.
dogged は粘り強い、執念深いという意味の形容詞で、何かを諦めずに最後までやり遂げる姿勢を表すときに使われ、忍耐強く取り組むことを評価する表現としてよく使われます。犬のドッグが語源で、犬が一度噛みついたものをなかなか離さないことから、しつこいほど粘り強いニュアンスを持っています。
Without his dogged pressing that he showed.Without his dogged pressing that he showed, he relied too much on his strong left foot and he fluffed the chant.
フラフは小さなミスをする、失敗する、台無しにするといった意味を持つカジュアルな表現で、スポーツやパフォーマンスの場面では簡単なチャンスを逃す、大事な場面でミスをするというニュアンスで使われます。スピーチやプレゼンの際に言葉を噛んだり、セリフを間違えたりする場合にも使われることがあります。日常会話では、ちょっとしたミスやドジを表現するときに使われますが、深刻なミスよりも軽い失敗を指すことが多いです。
He relied too much on his strong left foot and he fluffed the chant. He relied too much on his strong left foot and he fluffed the chant. Since bursting back onto the scene.
Burst onto the scene は、誰かが突然登場し、一気に注目を集めるときに使われる表現で、スポーツ選手やアーティスト、俳優などが鮮烈なデビューを果たし、一躍有名になるような場面でよく使われます。例えば、新人が試合で大活躍したとき、あるいは無名だったミュージシャンがヒット曲を出して脚光を浴びたときなどに使えます。突如として現れ、強いインパクトを残すというニュアンスがあり、ポジティブな意味で使われることが多いです。
Since bursting back onto the scene, he looks like a player who isn't just a toe tapper.
トータッパーは、主に音楽に関連する場面で使われる表現で、リズムが心地よく、自然と足で拍子を取りたくなるような曲を指します。例えば、ノリのいいポップソングやジャズの演奏を聴いたとき、これはまさにトータッパーだと表現することができます。また、音楽だけでなく、活気があり気分を高めてくれるようなもの全般に対して使われることもあります。フォーマルな場面ではあまり使われず、音楽レビューやカジュアルな会話でよく使われる表現です。
He looks like a player who isn't just a toe tapper. He looks like a player who isn't just a toe tapper. It all went a bit skew-whiff.
スキューイフは、主にイギリス英語で使われ、曲がっている、歪んでいる、ずれているという意味を持つ形容詞で、物理的に何かが傾いていたり、まっすぐでなかったりする場合に使われることが多いですが、 計画や状況が思い通りに進まない時にも使え。例えば、絵が額縁の中で傾いていたり、ネクタイがまっすぐでなかったりする時や、試験や仕事で期待通りの結果が出なかった場合や、何かがうまく噛み合わなかった時にも使われることがあります。日常会話では比較的カジュアルな表現で、フォーマルな場面ではあまり使われません。
It all went a bit skew with, and it all went a bit skew with, and it could have avenged our kind of -7 goal difference that we.
アベンジは、アベンジャーズの動詞形ですが、復讐する、仕返しをする、報復するという意味で、誰かの代わりに正義を果たしたり、過去の敗北や不正に対して報復する際に使われます。特にスポーツでは前回の敗戦のリベンジを果たすという意味で使われることがあり、試合解説やニュース記事で見かけることがありますが、日常会話ではあまり使われず、映画や文学作品などで、より劇的な復讐や報復の場面でよく登場する単語です。リベンジと似ていますが、アベンジは正義のための報復というニュアンスが強く、よりフォーマルで文学的な響きを持ちます。
And it could have avenged our kind of -7 goal difference that we. And it could have avenged our kind of -7 goal difference that we. Plays a lovely little deft touch into Matoma.
デスタッチはサッカーなどのスポーツで使われる表現で繊細で完璧なボールコントロールや絶妙なタッチを意味し、特にゴール前での冷静なフィニッシュや正確なパスやトラップを評価するときに使われます。この表現は魔法のように決定的なタッチを意味し、試合の流れを変えるようなプレーに対してよく使われ、単なるスキルではなく、重要な場面で決定的な影響を与える技術を指すことが多いです。
Plays a lovely little deft touch into Matoma. He plays a lovely little deft touch into Matoma. We've seen a prolific goal-scoring gel, Karu Matoma.
プロリフィックは多作の、実りの多い、優れた成果を生むという意味の形容詞で、スポーツではゴールを量産する選手に対して得点力のあるという意味で使われます。例えば、サッカーで頻繁にゴールを決めるフォワードや、野球で安打を量産する打者を表現するときに用いられます。ビジネスやクリエイティブな分野では、多くの作品や成果を生み出す人を指し、作家、芸術家、研究者などについて語るときにも使われ、単に数が多いだけでなく、質の高いものを多く生み出すというポジティブなニュアンスを含むのが特徴です。
We've seen a prolific goal-scoring gel, Karu Matoma. We've seen a prolific goal-scoring gel, Karu Matoma. And that's street smartness just to get the finish right. And
ストリートスマートネスは、学校で学ぶ知識とは異なり、現実の社会で経験を通じて身につける判断力や適応力を指し、例えば、交渉が上手い人や、困難な状況でも起点を利かせて対応できる人を表現する際に使われます。特に、ビジネス、スポーツ、ストリートカルチャーの文脈でよく登場し、ずる賢さ、抜け目なさといったニュアンスを含むこともあります。サッカーなどのスポーツでは、試合の流れを読む能力や、狡猾なプレーをする選手に対して使われることがあります。フォーマルな場面よりも、カジュアルな会話やスポーツ解説、映画ドラマのセリフなどでよく使われる表現です。
And that street smartness just to get the finish right. And that street smartness just to get the finish right. And
いかがでしたか？三笘薫は、そもそも1対1のドリブル突破が衝撃的だと言われていたのはそれほど昔の話ではありませんが、三笘のファーストタッチがプレミアでも最高レベルなんだと、最近のスーパーゴールでも再認識させ、唯一注文をつけるとすれば、ゴールとアシストの数字だということは、ブライトンファンも多く言っていたことですが、3試合連続のゴールにより、直近7試合で5ゴール1アシストと、驚異的なペースで数字も出たことによって、もう三笘は得点力のあるウィンガーになった、とさえ言われ始めました。今回のゴールも、ディフェンダーを置き去りにし、40メートルを独走し、ループシュートで決めるという素晴らしいゴールであり、この試合でもう1点取れそうな場面でもあったように、得点できるポジションやスペースへの入り方、ボールの受け方などが分かってきたのか、学んできたのか、すでに習得してしまったのか、得点する雰囲気がとても増したのが明らかにわかりますね。10ゴールすれば、夏の移籍は可能性が相当高くなるでしょうし、15ゴールすれば、もうリーグトップのウィンガーと呼ばれるでしょうから、欲張りにも12ゴールくらいできることを期待しながら、残りの12試合を応援しながら楽しみたいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。